Okay, now we have a machine hooked up to the hydra system. Concentrator 1, position 9. Let's make sure it's communicating properly. And it looks pretty good with a 1F. Okay, so now let's go over to the progressive side. Let's look at the machine configuration for GA12. So GA12, we're saying that the level 1, or the highest, the biggest number progressive, we're going to contribute 0.2 of 1%. The middle one, we're going to contribute 0.3 of 1%. And the lowest progressive, we're going to contribute 0.5 of 1%. So if you add those three together, that equals 1%. Active, yes. Group ID 1, accounting units 1, max difference 5,000, payout multiplier 1, test mode 0. Okay. Remember, test mode is whether the machine is going to receive the jackpots or not. Okay. So we go over here to the gray side, and we see the current in-meter value from that machine. And we see the prior in-meter value, which is not really relevant because this machine was just connected, and who knows what was connected before. The meter difference, etc., etc. Well, you can see here the meter difference is super big because this machine was just connected and there was a GA12 before connected to a different machine with a completely different value. Therefore, it had more than a max difference of 5,000. So the mystery progressive ignored the difference. Going forward, let's see what happens. This max difference, 5,000, is a fail-safe that if a machine is moved from one port to another and the difference is huge, like this difference, that the progressive doesn't increase based on the in-meter values. So this is actually a good example right here of the max difference protecting the progressive against erroneous meter reads. Okay, now what we're going to do now is we're going to see what the effect of playing on the machine has on the mystery progressive. If you remember, we said we want a total of 1% to go to the mystery progressive. And in that 1% are three different levels. We want 0.5 to the bottom, we want 0.3 to the middle, and we want 0.2 to the top. If you add those three together, they equal 1%. So we're dividing that 1% in the three different meters. So theoretically, if I play $10 on the machine, 1% would be 10 cents. So at the end of $10 in play, we should show 10 cents on the 3 meters cumulatively. So let me play the machine, and this is 50 cents a bet, 50 cents a spin. So I have to play 10. Now keep in mind that winning or losing doesn't have an effect. It's how much is bet. Winning or losing doesn't have any effect on the amount. It's how much is bet. And this is the final. That was the final one. That was 10. Okay, so after spending $10, now I have 5 cents that has been awarded to the bottom. I have 3 cents that's been awarded to the medium. And I have 2 cents that's been awarded to the top. It's exactly the way that we configured it. 1% divided into the 3 meters, 5 cents on the bottom, 3 cents in the middle, and 2 cents on the top. Okay. There are 2 considerations for the mystery progressive when adding machines. You have the in and the out. So the in is, for example, the accounting units. I have this set at a 1 right now. If and with our demonstration a little while ago, it was exactly right. I put $1 in, I get the exact. I put $10 in, I get the exact amount that I want on the screen. But let's say that it was off by 10 times. It's either too low or too high. This is where you would adjust that. Maybe my accounting units is 100, or maybe my accounting units is 0.1 or 0.01. And that's how you would adjust when you test the machine to see what it advances, the progressive. That's how you adjust that. Okay, this is my actual machine here. So you see here that I have my level 1 at 0.2, my level 2 at 0.3, my level 3 at 0.5, active yes, accounting units 1. If I had, for example, here accounting units 10, then it would not credit the progressive properly. It would credit the progressive unit only, instead of 10 cents on a dollar, it would only credit 1 cent on a dollar, and you would not see any movement at all on the progressive until you reached like $20 or $30, then it would go up a penny on the bottom one. Okay, so there's the in and the out. The accounting units is for the in. This is showing me here the meter difference is 50 because I was playing 50 at a time, etc. The odometer movement is 0.5, etc., etc. Okay, so let's talk about the payout multiplier. Okay. Down here, you have a button called LB Test. That stands for Legacy Bonus Test. And the way the system works is when you're turning a machine up onto the system, that LB Test button, when pushed, puts 100 credits out to a machine. So, for example, if you are in Costa Rica and you push that button, it's going to give you 100 credits or 1.00 colones. Here in the United States, when we push that button, 100, we want to see $1 credited to that machine. If it's over $1 or under $1, it's not correct, and that needs to be adjusted in the payout multiplier. So, you know what? Let's push the LB Test button and let's see what happens on a machine. Okay, now you're watching the machine. I'm going to push the button that says LB Test. It said exactly $1. So our settings in the database are exactly right. But you know what? I'm going to play with the adjustments here a little bit. I'm going to put the payout multiplier at 10. Now I'm going to push the button again. Ah, you see it paid $10. That's wrong. And so the reasoning is that when the mystery progressive pays off, it's going to pay off the wrong amount. It's not going to pay off the amount that's on the sign. We want that machine to say $1. So the number 10 on that is wrong. I'm going to set it back to 1. Okay, I've set it back to 1. We're going to do another LB test. Bonus win $1. That's exactly what we want to see. So in this particular case, this particular machine is set up both in and out correct. Now we can go to the next machine and do the exact same test. There's one other thing that you have to do when you're setting up the configuration on a machine, and I'm going to show you that. Okay, the other thing that you have to do on a machine, now that we have the in correct, we have the out correct, payout multiplier is correct, the accounting units is correct, the percentaging is correct. The other thing we have to do is this max difference. Okay, so if we go to progressive, we go to machine configuration, we pull up the machine, we do an edit, we see the gray area over here again. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to hit on the machine the max bet. We want to hit the max bet. The max bet is going to give us the number for this field. So, and again, I'm going to reiterate what this field is used for. This is a fail-safe. So let's say, for example, you have a machine that's on a certain port and it has an in-meter reading of 1,000. And for whatever reason you have concentrator problems or whatever, and you end up moving a machine from one port to another. Now all of a sudden there's a different machine on that port and it reads 100,000. So the mystery progressive is going to say, wait a minute, that's 99,000 increase immediately. That number is way over the max difference. Therefore, it's not a valid increase for the mystery progressive because the mystery progressive is based on the in-meter. So that's why we have this fail-safe max difference. So if the number in the max bet is 500, then we put the number 500 in there. If the mystery progressive reads that and it says, oh, the number was within the range, so therefore it's good, and I'm going to raise the mystery progressive based on that that number and based on my formulation of the different things that are configured here. Okay, so now that we know that, we have this number currently set at 5,000, which is not correct. It's just a start number. So let's go and find out what the number really is. Then we'll know how to set up this field, which is the last field that we need to set for this particular machine. On this particular machine, the max bet is $1 and is 300 credits, so that's $300. So I have 301 credits, so let's do max bet. $300, one spin. Woo! Okay, now let's see what the system says. Okay, well, we just bet $300 on one spin. Okay, you see here where it says 30,000. This number right here from max spin is the number that we need right here in this box. Okay, now we know what we need. We're three things for each machine. Well, you have various things here, but you have in, out, and max. So in is affected by accounting units, out is affected by payout multiplier, and max difference is affected by whatever the max spin number is. This number goes directly into this box. The accounting units is going to vary depending on the number of accounting units set up in the machine, the currency in the machine, how the machine affects the meters. I'll give you a couple of examples. In Costa Rica, they have the colones. One colon in Costa Rica equals, or I'm sorry, 500 colones is $1. So they represent their number at 500.00, even though they never use the 0.00 centavos. They only use colones. So $1 in Costa Rica would be represented as 500.00. That is 5 digits for $1. So the accounting units might be a lot different from a 1. And again, we put out, when we hit the button that says LB test, we put out 100. So what they want to see on the screen is 1 colony credit. 100, 1.00. So we have the in, the out, and the max difference, which comes from when you do a max play, you read that number, and whatever that number is the number you put in that box. So if you've got all that right, you've got the machine configured properly. This is actually a pretty good example because this 0.2, 0.3, and 0.5 is really an accurate number. The other thing to remember is if when you're turning a machine up, you want to be in test mode. Now, let me tell you why you want to be in test mode. Well, the reason you want to be in test mode, by the way, test mode is a 1, not a 0. I'm in the active mode in this at this time. So if I open a new Internet Explorer page and I go to reports, I'm just going to hope it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Okay. I go to accounting. I go to a progressive reports, which is a new button. And I can choose the date range. So I'm going to choose yesterday to today. And this is going to show me the jackpot activity. Now, I actually haven't hit a jackpot yet. We haven't really got into that portion. But I just want to note here that you have two different areas of the report. You have the jackpot activity for the normal active jackpots, and you have the jackpot activity for the test jackpots. The normal jackpots are going to apply to the machine when you win. The tests are going to show here, but they're not going to apply to the machine. So let's cause an actual jackpot. Okay, let's go back to our game. Okay, so we have our game set up to start at 10,000. The minimum is 10,100. The maximum is 10,200, etc., etc. Well, let's make this thing easy to win so we can see what it's all about. So we have a level 3 start at $10, a level 3 win at $11, and the maximum at $12. Well, you know what? Let's change this to $10.10 minimum. Let's change this to a maximum of $10.15. Okay, now anytime you make a change other than the general configuration, you have to restart the program. So you just bring it up from the tray and you hit X and you let Cerebus restart the program. It's very quick. Okay, so now we're all set. Oh, you know what? Let's do a reset. So we started our initial values. Reset all. On this particular one, you don't have to do anything because the program actually kills it and restarts it. Okay, let's go back over to the machine now and let's cause a win and see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens here when we get an actual win. Because I have this machine out of the test mode in the active mode, and I have it set now for $1 a play. So I'm just going to bet $1 at a time. Now the first dollar is not going to do anything because even the lowest progressive only goes up a penny at 0.5 or 50 cent, 0.5. So I think theoretically after betting $2, it goes up a penny. Okay. I'm going to raise the bet here a little bit so we can get a win. I'm going to go. That's $3. Let's do another. Let's do another $3. It's progressing normally. Now remember, our minimum win is $10.10. So we have to get in the range, and then the maximum is going to be $10.15. $3. Oh, we got a winner. Now you see on the machine, we got a bonus win for $10.10. On the display, it shows that we got a winner of $10.10. So everything jives up, everything is perfect. Now you see the low amount, the level 3 amount went back to $10. That's the starting amount. The medium and large stayed where they were at. So they'll just continue from where they went. The minimum will start over again. We'll go ahead and hit it again. Remember, the minimum amount is $10.10. Okay, we're over $10.10. Let's see where it's going to... It's got to be less than $10.15. $10.14. Now you'll see on the machine, bonus win, $10.14, automatically credited by the system. The minimum jackpot now will revert back to $10 and it starts all over again. So we see how that works. And the same occurs for the medium and large. Once the medium wins, you'll see it on the display. It'll be credited to the machine, then it'll go back to the original amount. Same thing for the big win. Okay, now that we've had a couple of wins, let's go back to the report. Let's take a look at what happened here. Again, we're doing a date range. We're going from yesterday to today. And now we see 2 wins. It gives us the date, the time, the level of the win, and how much was won. $10.14, $10.10, the game, etc. And it's all in the active machines because those machines were actually credited with those amounts. And so that's how the reports work. You can look at the date range as whatever you want. You can make the date range as big as you want. You can look at it on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Let's go back to the game configuration. Let's go back over some of the things from before. So again, we have the level 1, the big start amount, the minimum win amount, the maximum win amount. It's going to be a number in between those two. This offset, don't worry about that, that's for a future release. The mode is for a future release. The duration is for a future release. Don't worry about those, just leave those alone. You have a level 2 start, minimum and maximum. Leave these 3 fields alone, that's for a future release. I mean, you can change them, but it won't make any difference. And then you have the level 3 start, minimum and win, which we just tested. Now you have the throttles. Okay, let's go back over that again. What that means is the casinos want to pay for 1%. They don't necessarily want to pay for the base amount. So if the base amount is $10 and the level 3 wins in between $10.10 and $10.15, then the 1% is actually only the 15 cents. It doesn't really cover the $10. So in order to cover that, we've created these throttles. So the throttle starts at 10,100 and it drops by 50%, 0.5, until it reaches 10,150. Then it drops to 0.1 or 10%. Now what that means is for every dollar that goes in, instead of being for the level 1, which is 0.2 to start with, level 1 0.2, level 2 0.3, and level 3.5 to equal 1%. So it's 50% of 0.2 when it reaches this level. When it reaches the next level, it drops to 0.1 or 10% of 0.2. So basically what happens is it slows down as it gets bigger. And it slows down as it gets bigger to make up for the difference of the base amount, basically. It doesn't have to be used. Some use it, some don't. That's what that's for. In the game configuration, anytime you make a change, you hit submit, then you have to kill the program and let Cerebus restart it. It's very easy. Just X, and then if you watch the tray, you'll see it pop back up in a matter of seconds. And even if you do this while the system is in service, it doesn't make any difference because it simply updates the progressive when it comes back up. It doesn't have to be active all the time. It's back up here already, you see it. When you're in the game configuration, or the machine configuration, sorry, anytime you make a change, you have to kill the app and let it restart. Not a big deal. Just kill it, let it restart, you're done in a matter of seconds. So we've gone over the game configuration, we've gone over the machine configuration, we've gone over the general configuration, we've gone over the reports. Let's go to the machine now. Let's see what configuration changes are needed in the machine to make this thing work. Okay, it's a typical IGT Game King. Just to show the configuration changes, you go into the setup, you go into setup mode, COM options, IGT SAS, and you see here where it says system bonusing, SAS legacy. That's the option that you want. You want it set to SAS legacy. And literally, that's the only change that you need to make to the machine is system bonusing SAS legacy.